So here we have the Intuos Pro by Wacom. The Intuos Pro, it comes wireless ready, and it also has these touch features. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what is inside of the box. So it comes pretty nicely wrapped up. See, it's labeled the Intuos Pro, and you get this kind of welcome postcard, I guess you can send out to your friends and say, hey, I just bought a Wacom Intuos Pro or something. I'm not really sure what it's for, but so that's kind of disposable. And then underneath here we have you know, the main feature, the tablet. It's a reasonable size. This is the medium size, and I find that this is just nice. It fits nicely inside my laptop bag. It's about the same size as my MacBook Pro. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's a good size. And underneath there we've got the USB cable, so you can connect it via USB. And as well as USB, it also comes wireless ready. So, yeah. But you can use the USB cable if you're not worried about the wireless. Maybe a desktop or something. But if you're out using your laptop or moving around, it's kind of handy to have the wireless feature. Then we've got kind of the stylus holder here, like a little cup that we can place our stylus in. And if you open this up, inside of here we've got different nibs, some replacement nibs and different sizes and textures and feels for the end, so you can kind of customize your stylus. That's kind of nice. So this is for holding the stylus, and here is the actual stylus itself. We'll just unwrap this. So there is the actual stylus itself. Now you can get accessories for this, to make it more comfortable to hold or whatever, but kind of like it. So you got the eraser on the end here, and on the other hand here, then you got the nib, and there's 2 buttons on here. So pretty much you can customize a lot of the buttons, a lot of the features, and then you have this kind of holder for your nib for your stylus also, which is quite nice. So let's go over now to the actual pad itself. So it goes this way around on your desk, and there are a bunch of buttons down the side here, which can be customized depending on the software that you're using to do pretty much anything really that you want them to. And as well as these buttons down the side, you've also got this. On the Intuos Pro you have this. Now this is a kind of touchpad, so you can use this touchpad to zoom in and zoom out and do a whole bunch of other stuff. A lot of these buttons are programmable, so depending on the software you're using, I'm going to be using this mainly with Blender for doing 3D sculpting. You can program those buttons to, as shortcut keys to do whatever features you like. So if we take a look at the bottom of this, you'll see on the left side here there are these 2 kind of ports that you can open up, and on the side here you've got the port here to connect the USB, and as well as that there's also the on-off button. And you can see the battery status. Now if you're not plugging it in with a USB, if you're plugging it in or connecting it to your PC using the wireless, then it's important, you may want to see how much battery is left. And the battery is placed inside of this compartment here. So you just slide this cover open, and inside of here is the battery. The battery goes inside of here. This is if you're using the wireless feature, and I quite like to use it wirelessly myself. And in this side here, this is where we can plug in the wireless dongle. So when you buy this, it comes with a little plug-in. This is the wireless dongle that plugs into the side here. And it covers up like that. And then when we turn it on, so press a power button here on the side. I think it won't turn on because I don't have the USB cable connected, and I don't have the other part of the wireless dongle which goes inside the PC. So you can see here I have a kind of light flashing. I think that's to tell me that there's no connectivity right now, so it won't really power on, so the light just comes on and off. But later on, when we connect this up to the PC, the whole pad kind of lights up, and also these corners here also light up, and it looks pretty neat. So inside of here we have the instruction book and also some other spare accessories, and we have the wireless dongle which plugs into your computer, and that wireless dongle then allows the wireless connectivity. It plugs into USB port that allows the wireless connectivity between the pad and your computer. There's also a driver disc and a warranty card. So the driver disc, it contains the drivers for Windows and also for Mac. They're also downloadable from the Wacom website. As a lot of you may be aware, if you're using a MacBook Pro, there's on the later models, I think from 2014 or 2013 onwards, there was no more CD drive with them. So I guess Apple expects that you have to be able to download the drivers. So that's basically what comes inside the box. Now let's go over to the computer and get it connected up. So once you've installed the drivers on your computer, you're now ready to go ahead and begin to use your tablet. So I plug in the USB wireless dongle because I'm going to use it in wireless mode with my laptop. And then once you've done that, you locate the power switch, which is on the side of the unit, and when you press and hold down the power switch, the unit will power on. You'll see the lights come on, and when all of the lights are on, that's the 4 lights in the middle of the tablet and also the light on the left side. When all of those are on, it means that your tablet is connected and is ready to go. So then you can navigate around the screen using the stylus, and that will move the pointer around, and you can also drag your finger like a touchpad if you have touch mode turned on. So that allows you to move around, and of course tapping will allow you to select, or it's like a left click on the mouse. And on the pen you've got 2 buttons and also the nib, so it's by default a double click, a right click and a left click. So the Blender software utility that comes, this is on the Mac. In your system preferences, you'll see here you've got Wacom tablet. And if you open that up, and that can also be accessed by a hotkey, that would be the top left button now. On your tablet, you've got these keys down the side, and if you move your finger over them, you'll see it selects different ones. And if you hit there on the settings key, so that's the top button with the horizontal line on it, aids you when you're looking at your screen to identify where you are. So if you have a finger, say, on this, if you can feel this line, then you know you're second from top, and if you can feel the circle, you know you're second from bottom. So it makes it very easy and quick for you to identify which button you are going to be pressing. So if you press that settings key, it'll bring up this kind of thing, where you can set pen preferences and express key preferences. So let's go over to pen preferences to start with. You can see here by default I've got erase, I've got double click, right click, and this would be a left click, that would be your nib. So if I left click by pushing down with my nib on pen preferences, it'll jump me over to this same utility that can be accessed from the system preferences. So here I'm in my pen settings. You can see here my pen pressure, and you can set the tip feel so you can make it more soft or more firm, so depending on how hard you want to have to press before you get that high amount of pressure. So this basically is like this touch sensitivity. So if you make it more firm, then you're going to have to press down a lot harder before it begins to recognize a touch. So that might be too firm for me. I don't want to press down too hard. You want to be etching into your trackpad. So that's probably about right for me in the middle. I like that. And we can also alter our tilt sensitivity. So that's how much the pen tilts. That's useful when we're using coloring, like using a chalk type brush in Photoshop. And then you can also customize this per application. So I'm actually going to customize mine for Blender. It's an app that I use quite a lot. So let's just find Blender in our applications list. Select Blender, open, and then you'll see it adds it to our list here of applications. Now, all other applications will use the default settings, and Blender is going to do what I select here. So I'm going to change this from double click to middle click. So that means now my upper button on the stylus will be a middle click, which in Blender will allow me to rotate around an object. The right click I'll leave as it is, and also the single click on the top. So now if I open Blender and I use my left click button that we just customized, you'll see now it rotates my view. If I hold down the shift key on my keyboard and I use the left key, you'll see that the shortcut allows me now to pan around my view. And if I use the scroll wheel, which is the rotating kind of circle area on the left of your trackpad, if I move my finger around that, it allows me to zoom in and out. So now I've got quite easy and quick navigation here in the Blender interface. There's also, if you take a look at our hotkeys, you'll see that this lower button here is Shift. So I could also hold down the button on the keypad on our tablet, and that will also be the equivalent of me hitting the Shift button on our keyboard. So there's that's the customization of our pen. Now let's go over to our functions. So that is these functions here. And again, I'm going to add Blender as my preferred application. Okay, so in Blender I want to set these buttons to do different things. Now in Blender I'm quite often working in extrusion. I want to extrude vertices or edges or faces. So I think I'm going to change this top button here to a keystroke. My keystroke will simply be E, and I will label this extrude. So now, if I come over into Blender, I go into edit mode, I select a vertices here, and I hit my top button. You'll see now that is extruding for me. If I select the face and I hit the top button, you'll see now that that is doing the same function as my E key. So that is how we can customize on a per application basis. Now I'm going to do another tutorial later on, which is my exact setup for Blender, but this is more just a general introduction to the Intuos Pro and what you can do with it. So you can also see here we've got a battery meter, which is telling us how much battery we've got left. And also up here, we've got here, so you can see we've got 41% of our Intuos Pro, and we can see that we are, connected. We have this little battery icon. If we're not connected, then this icon disappears, and when we mouse over, it says no tablet detected. So that's it. That's basically how we can set up our tablet. Now we can also turn off Expressvu. I think Expressvu is the this like kind of panel which was coming up when we hold over the keys. So this is the Expressvu. So if we can turn off Expressvu. So when we're over here in Blender and I hold down, say, the Shift key, it's no longer popping up that slightly annoying menu which was appearing at the side there before. But if we come out of Blender and we come back over to here, now it will show up when we mouse over, when we put our finger over them, because we've turned off Expressvu inside of the Blender application. So we just have to remember what the keystrokes are, because Expressvu can be kind of useful if you forget what it does, because they are labeled. But if you remember what your keystrokes do, what your key assignments are, then you don't need those tooltips to show up. So that's it for my introduction to the Intuos Pro 5 and how I've got it set up on my Mac and how you can customize the buttons and everything else. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. Or if you're considering buying an Intuos Pro 5, I hope that it's helped you with your decision to show you the features and functions of this rather fine graphics tablet.